What's up, YouTube? Tristan again with T-Loss Fitness, and I am back for part 2 about why bodybuilding is not a sport. The first time in the last video, we basically spoke about how it just comes down to the personal opinion of the judge. It's not like basketball or some other kind of sport where you score more points or you run faster. Powerlifting, where you lift more and there's a clear-cut winner. Bodybuilding is not that way. And there's another reason why it's not a sport, at least to me, and that is because even when you win some amateur shows and then you qualify to get your pro card, you have to pay out of your own pocket. Out of your own hard-earned money, you've got to pay and get pro card, and from my understanding that's between like $100 and $300 depending on which organization that you go to, whether it's NPC or whatever. So any other sport, when you become good at your craft, the team or the governing body pays you to play for a team. They give you a salary. Bodybuilding, you've got to pay to go to your shows. You got to pay for all of your drugs, all of your supplements. You got to pay all of that out of your own pocket. And that's the reason why a lot of these guys are broke. I mean, unless you're in the upper 10%, or I should really say the upper 10 to 15 bodybuilders, you don't have that much money. The big guys like Phil Heath, Kai Green, Dennis Wolf, they all make their money from sponsorships, magazine appearances, things like that, supplement lines, which is why these guys are always pushing supplements. They don't get that big through supplements, guys. They get that big because they're on the juice, So here's another thing that ties into that, the whole gay for pay thing. That's huge in the bodybuilding industry. It's not known about by that many people, but basically, if you don't know what it is, that's where guys will dance in front of a camera or dance actually in front of old men or whatever, and like Kai Green did, he screwed a grapefruit on camera. So if you're wondering why he hasn't been Mr. Olympia yet, think about that. That's still on the internet. If you don't believe me, I will put the link, or I'll put a link so that you can see that. I believe even Matt Ogus, Mr. Natural or Half Natty, whatever he calls himself, he's been caught doing the whole gay for pay. Now I want you to think about it too. Carly Muscle, one of the biggest on YouTube right now, he also was a stripper. I think he did the gay for pay. Now, these guys claim, well, Kai Green doesn't, but Carly Muscle and Matt Ogus both claim to be natural. In fact, Carly Muscle said all you need is top ramen and tuna and you can get big like him. Like 5'8", 240 pounds. Ridiculous. But think about it. Why would these guys, if they're not gay, why would they stand there in front of a camera or in front of some dirty old men and strip and do certain sexual acts? And I believe some of them are just straight up into prostitution in order to pay for the drugs. I mean, what a lot of you don't know is steroids and all the other drugs that they go on, whether it's insulin or the GH or the Tren or the Deca or whatever, when they're taking all of that stuff, it's expensive. I mean, I knew a guy personally that was spending $700 a month. He knew other guys that were spending about $1,500 a month, which is basically a really nice house payment. At least here where I live, that would be a giant house. Not only that, but you could have a Mercedes or a BMW for that kind of a payment each month. So these guys don't always have a very good job. Bodybuilding is what they do that they're not making any money on. They spend hours doing that. So in order to make some cash on the side, you gotta do a little dance for the old men there. I mean, that's disgusting. Think about it. For the sake of being big, for the sake of being as swole as possible, you've got to basically pay for this drug addiction by stripping, by getting your wiener out and showing it to old men. I mean, it's disgusting, but also shows why it's not a sport. You know, it's a passion, it's an art form, but it's also an addiction for these guys. These guys want to be big, famous, that bad, that they'll do anything to get it. So, I mean, I don't have much respect for it. If you don't believe me, like I said, I'll put links in the description so you can look it up and see Carly must have admitted that he was a stripper. Sorry, my alarm cut the video off, which really ticks me off, but whatever. So anyway, in closing, clearly, a lot of these guys that claim to be natural use common sense, use logic. I know they don't teach logic in school that much anymore, but why would these guys need to strip or need to do these kind of things to get extra money if they weren't on the drugs? Think about it. Anyway, just leaving you with that thought. The whole gay for pay thing will probably be a separate video. But guys, trust me, it's much cheaper and you're going to stay much more healthy if you remain natural.